busy producing.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. Well, I do appreciate you wanting to go live with me.
No problem. You know I'm a fan. You keep a lot of stuff that I love alive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So I know that with the music industry, you were discovered by Teddy Riley.
I was really. It's a long story. I moved to Atlanta, got into Music Business Institute, uh, and went there for a while. I met this strange guy named Adonis who introduced me because he told me he was getting signed to Teddy Riley, and I went up to New York to just play on the album. And they needed a third member, and after some coercing, I joined the group, and that we got signed, under Teddy. Uh, Unfortunately, the album never came out. His partner Gene Griffin was, he was in a excuse me, he was in control of all the business parts and stuff. So he never released the album, so it never got out. It was under Warner Brothers, but nobody never heard it.
So I know after you know, left Teddy's camp and you went back to Atlanta, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then KCM formed.
KCM formed because when we were signed to Teddy, we was known as Musical Freedom, which is a name I did not like because of the MF. But being that the album never came out, we came back to Atlanta and started a new album. And make a long story short, the guy who introduced me to Orville Gilchrist, who was a part of GR Productions at one time, along with Timmy Gatlin, they being that the album didn't come out, we decided to come back to Atlanta and do a new album under Xscape Records. And we replaced Adonis with this guy named Kevin Terrell, which was a really good friend of mine who was awesome. Ran into him at the mall and like, yo, yo, we doing some things, man. We need you. And he joined the camp and ended up, he was going to do a solo album, but he ended up doing, the lead stuff on the album after Adonis left. Yeah.
That's good. So I know you said you were signed to Itcha Band and then you all got to deal with Virgin.
Yeah. What happened with that? Itcha Band said that we didn't move any numbers or whatever, and said it was 0 albums sold, and we knew that was a lack of. We knew a lot of people who bought it, and so it was just kind of an unfair situation, especially that we funded everything. We did the artwork, we did the photo shoots, we did the album. Orville Gilchrist and I produced the whole album, and Kevin and Mike and I was also in the group, as you know. We did our thing, and it was a good album. But that Ichabod was like, they was tripping. So after some time went by, we met this guy. We knew TC Tompkins from Teddy's group. Teddy's, business part. And he helped us out, and he connected us with Sharon Haywood at Virgin Records. And that's why that's how I got out. And we redid, I think we did like two albums. 2 more songs on the album, 2 fresh songs, and added to the old album and redid the photo shoot and remastered too, yeah.
Cool. So Peachtowne Party Jam, didn't that come out before the album came out?
Yes, that came out while we was under Ichabod, and a lot of Atlanta people know DJ Star had a TV show called American Rap Makers, and he used to use it to open the show up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the Funky Smooth CD. It's really good. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
and,
thank you.
Yeah, I listen to it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. When we was on the Ichabod, it was called our group name was KCM Inc. And we dropped the Inc. when we went to Virgin.
Cool.
Yeah.
So how was it being on Virgin Records?
It was cool. we had some positive things going on. I believe that Sharon, worked really hard on getting us out. Now there was this woman named Gemma. If you might have seen her on some of those shows talking about Days of Virgin, when they do those throwback shows. She was the A&R, and she didn't really didn't want us over there, right? And I'm gonna drop some truth on it. Some people might say I hate sometimes, but I just be telling the truth. We was there. After Seven was there, and After Seven was a 3-man group. Back then, people used to say I look like Babyface and them. Babyface don't like that though. But so it was some kind of rumor got started in the label, like that was surprising to us that After Seven thought we was trying to replace them, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Y'all are heroes." You know what I'm saying? Like, so I knew where Melvin stayed. Rest in peace. He was a really cool guy. I talked to him at his house. He was outside washing his car. I had a friend who was a neighbor, and I went to his house and talked to him, and he was like, "No, man, that ain't us, man. That's Jim and them, man." So there was no real rivalry, but we felt like part of the record company was kind of split on our side and on their side, and that was something that we didn't want it. Like I said, they were our heroes. Like, they was platinum selling artists. We hadn't gotten there yet, and we definitely wasn't trying to replace them because we had a whole different sound. We had more of a new jack slash the West Coast sound was coming in, so that's kind of the way I produce the album. Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy because it's 2 different groups.
Yeah, totally different.
I don't see any similarity. Only thing I can see is, you both were like New Jack type groups, part of it.
Yeah. I wouldn't even call them New Jack. They had that Babyface sound to me that well, I guess, especially from your point of view, the way you post things, I can see why you would say they New Jack for sure.
Yeah, New Jack, New Jack songs from their first album.
Right. They was some hella fire singers, I tell you that. Coming from that family, wow.
So I know with Virgin Records, you all only released like 2 singles.
Yeah, Let Me Groove You and All in All. Yeah. And we shot a video to Let Me Groove You, and got on BET and performance on Soul Train, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we never heard All in All out here on the radio, but we heard it in LA, I think. They played it kind of heavy in LA.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe you should have released like more singles from the album?
Yes, I did. I wasn't even sure about releasing All in All for the second single. But at the time, that was kind of the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you release something that people can dance to, and then you release a ballad for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? I'm a dance guy. Like, I like to see people dance. You know what I'm saying? So that whole New Jack Swing era just blew my mind. And I'm gonna go back a little bit. I was in school, and guy had just came out with Groove Me, and I heard it. I heard the album, and I was like tripping. I'm like, yo, this dude gets it. This Teddy Riley dude, he gets it, yo. I'm gonna work with this cat one day. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't no more than like 6 months later, I'm like in his face, and I used to go by this name. I had this little fantasy. You know how it is when you first starting out as an artist, and you got these little things about yourself. You're like, yeah, I want to do this. I want to do that. I had a name called Carl Odyssey because, I imagined that my music take you on a journey. You know what I'm saying? You be thinking of your music like that, right? So Teddy was working on I think it was a song for Kool Moe Dee, I think.
Yeah.
and don't ask me the name of the studio. I can't remember. But we had to meet Gene Griffin, his
Mm.
partner, and so I went in the studio and I always been kind of quiet, and so I was just snuck in there and just to see what he was doing, whatever. And he had his keyboard set up, and like this is my first time like seeing something just major. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of blown away, right? So I guess he had to go to the bathroom and do something, so he stepped out, and so I went tinkling with his keyboards. And back then, I wasn't playing chords that much because I used to have a synthesizer that only played one note at a time. We call it monophonic, and when you play chords, it's polyphonic. And so I was just on his keyboard, just soloing. He walks in, and he said, "Oh, so you a solo man?" I started thinking, that sounds like a good name. So that's how I got my name. Like, he don't even know that, I don't think. Yep.
Yeah. Funky Smooth is like one of my favorite New Jack albums.
Wow, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, you're making me feel special.
Yeah. Especially like from the 90s, that's like one of my favorites. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. You know
Yeah.
what's funny is like I get like these messages like from England, Germany, France, and they be talking about the album like I'm like, for real? Like I didn't even know it went that hard. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, wow, that's amazing. As a matter of fact, I just did a drop for a radio station in Germany that brought up my past, and they said they still play a lot of that stuff. You know, it's like, wow, like that's crazy.
Yeah. Very timeless music. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's what I try to do. I try to make music for the future as much as I can.
Yeah. Because Funky Smooth was out before I was even born. So,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Okay, youngster.
Yeah. So, how did you end up hooking up with Jermaine?
Funny story. Um, David Kidd, who I think is on here right now, at least he was. Yeah, there he is. I see him now. David Kidd was a friend of mine. I met him while I was in school. He and I was talking. Somebody just did an interview on him the other day, and I was talking to the interviewer. I'm like, I can't remember who introduced me to David Kidd. Now, just to give you a little background, David Kidd is him and Ian Burke. They're behind Xscape, and they're behind TLC. Like they started those groups, and so. But David, he was getting his thing on like way back. Yeah, I think he saw me play, or somebody told him I played. He came to my apartment. And he was like, "Yo, I need to hook you up with Jermaine Dupri." And like, this is like in the, 80s, right? So he brought this little short kid, to my apartment. And like I said, I had the monophonic synthesizer, and I'm just, soloing, and he was just like really impressed. And he was working on this group called Silk Times Leather at the time. And so I said, "Yo, man, we need to hook up." So he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do that." But he was just talking. So so many years went by, a lot of years went by, and he started blowing up. He put out Silk Times Leather. Then he jumped to Kriss Kross, and then Xscape. And by the time he was working on Xscape's second album, because I was working at a place called DCA out in Alpharetta, Georgia, this computer company, putting discs together and stuff like that. I hated it. But, because music was my thing. But I tell you what, though, I was getting my thing on. Like, I was like, one day I'm going to get back in the game because, KCM had fell off. We wasn't really doing things. The group kind of like stopped. And so I was like, I'm going to get my stuff together. So after work, I made sure I made like 3 beats at least a night,
Yeah.
and it was a learning process because I really didn't know what I was doing on it. I was mainly a musician and kind of a vocal producer, so I didn't really know the technical stuff of so I had to. It was a learning process for me. So I'm working at DCA, and David Kidd calls me again. He said, "Yo, what's going on?" I said, "Not much." I said, "Look, man, why don't you take me to JD house, man? Let me see if I can get a job over there. I'm tired of this computer stuff." he said, yo, no problem. You know, David's the coolest dude you would ever meet. Like everything is, you know, if it's in his power, he gonna do it for you just out of his heart. You know what I'm saying? So he took me to JD's, and I said, yo, you remember me? He said, yeah, I remember you. Like, yeah. So what's going on? Like, he said, yeah, man, I'm just working. And I said, yo, man, I need a job. I need a production job doing producing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm dope. And he's like, yeah, you are dope. He said, but unfortunately, I'm trying to make sure the people I'm working with eating. And, you know, he was working with a couple producers. And one of the main ones was Manuel Seal, who I got to give props to. Phenomenal producer, phenomenal dude. And so I was like, damn. I was disappointed. Went back to DCA, and then I got another job at a textile company called Crown Crafts. And I really, really did. That was the first like 9 to 5 job I ever liked. It was really cool, real laid back. I think a guy named Michael Bernstein owned the company. He was a real good guy, and had some people under him that was really cool. So I had a good time there, and then David Kidd calls again. And he said, yo, said, Jermaine need help. I said, for real? And I forgot to tell you, like, the first time we went to his house, it was like around Thanksgiving. And when David called again, it was close to Thanksgiving again. It's like, wow, this is crazy. So Jermaine like, yo, I need help, man. I wanna produce I want you to help me produce the Xscape second album. I'm like, word? I said, what happened to Emmanuel? He said, he gone. I said, okay, let's do this. I ain't even giving him a 2 weeks notice. I was like, you know, when it comes to your dreams, man, you just gotta move. And they got so upset with me, like, Carl, we love you, man. Like, you can't even give us a 2 weeks. I said, yo, this dude's saying if I don't do it now, like, I'm not gonna miss my opportunity, because you know Jermaine is like now type dude. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I ended up over there.
Yeah. So Def was big in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
Real
Definitely.
big.
Yeah. We did a lot of work, a lot of hits, for real.
How was it working with Xscape?
Xscape was really time consuming, but great. I mean, I had fun. Like, I forgot to tell you this too. Like, Peachtowne Party, I met Xscape before Dave had him.
Oh, wow.
And so that's who's singing. Ain't nothing but a party, ain't nothing but a Peachtowne. Yeah, that's them. But they was going by pause at the time, and they didn't have Candy.
Okay.
They had another girl. I can't remember her name. It might have been Tatiana, something like that. I can't think of her name, but yeah, Candy hadn't joined yet. So we had Xscape before that, and we was gonna do some things with them, but our manager / co-producer Orville, yeah, I don't know what happened with that. Yeah, so ran into him later as Xscape with Candy, and I loved Candy. Candy had a really cool attitude and real nice chick. Yeah, I met a lot of good people from Southern. Like, I still talk to and still talk about, you know, Chantel, Byron Burris, Jay, yeah, all those people, good people. Eddie, Skeeter Rock, and my favorite artist over there was the Brat. Yeah.
Yeah. It seemed like you enjoyed working with the Brat.
Hell yeah. I mean, in the studio and out of the studio, Brat was hilarious. Like, see, both of us had like a church background, so I didn't know that. And so sometimes we'll be playing pool, right? And she'll start singing one of them old church songs from Church of God in Christ. She'd be like, come on in the room. With a pool stick in her hands. She was hilarious, but I really enjoyed working with her. It was always fun.
That's good.
Yep.
And I know you worked with Aaliyah too. How was it working with her?
Awesome. Same vibe. Same awesome vibe. Just really serious about her music. She was just energetic, had fun during the session, after the session. Now, I used to be her in Mortal Kombat. She ain't like that. She hated that. I would never let her win. Like, you with the big boys now. You got to roll like what? and her brother was Rashad. He was there too a lot of times, so had a lot of cool times with them.
Yeah, and I really like the Home Again album, New Edition. I know you worked on that.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, Ronnie DeVoe, I gotta give him a shout out. He was, to me, out of that group, like he was the coolest dude. Like really, you can just tell. You know, I don't give props to a lot of a-holes in this business because it's a lot of them. So when people shine with me and connect with me, and I see that they're good people, I gotta say something. So yeah, Ronnie was real cool. But I enjoyed working with all of them.
That's good.
And Bobby was funny. I'm telling you, if anybody can say somebody's a character, Bobby Brown is a character. But it's genuine, and that's why I love him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. As a matter of fact, the news station here did like some story. A lady named Brenda Wood did a video, a special with talking about Atlanta music blowing up, and she came to the studio with us, and Bobby came over, and he pushed me out of the way on the camera and started playing the keyboard and said, "That's what we call vibing." So yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. I admire your production work as well,
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
everything, you know. I know a lot of people talk about like producers like Timbaland, P. Diddy,
Right.
like that from, the 90s.
Yeah.
But you got to mention Carl So Lowe too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I always just wanted to, the respect, you know what I'm saying, that they got, it's I think it's important. I know that, the young people coming up right now, if I know anything about them, I'm gonna always say something, especially if they're doing something for me. You know what I'm saying? Because, that's how you eat, Yeah, sometimes you eat because somebody spoke you up, So I think that's important. But I feel like, not to be bragging, I feel like I'm just as good as anybody out there.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is my fault because I'm more of an introvert and I'm quiet and I don't socialize that much because one of the reasons I'm really real and I see a lot of phoniness stuff and that I don't like associate myself with, but it's hurt me too, you know, because my name was ringing in people's ears because they didn't know the face or I wasn't at enough parties and stuff like that. I was just like I do my thing and I get out because I don't like drama, I don't like phoniness, and I like being to myself or with my girl or with my homies.
Yeah. I'm an introvert too. So,
Oh yeah. Look at us, two introverts talking out in front of the public.
yeah, swing, that swing. When it comes to music, I talk your head off about it, but,
That's what's up.
have a conversation about music,
Yeah.
especially real good timeless music. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And you also work with TLC.
Yes. That was fun too.
Yeah. Fan Mail, really good album.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it. I also did a song with T-Boz when she did Touch Myself. I did a remix with Craig Mack, me and Jermaine. And it was dope. I love that remix. And Craig, another guy, rest in peace, was just cool as I don't know what, funny. And man, I gotta tell you this story. One time we was working on it was that song. We was working on that song, and Craig Mack laid his part, and Jermaine, Craig, and the Brat was in the studio, and they had a beat on. And when I tell you they rapped for a whole hour, like nonstop, I was blown away. And I was to be honest, I never really looked at Jermaine like a rapper like that. So I was kind of surprised because I always looked at him more as a writer rapper. But he was hanging with him and doing his thing. But he got talent, when it comes to that for sure.
Yeah. Congratulations on the Grammy nomination for Fan.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, appreciate it.
That's an accomplishment. Still, got nominated.
Yeah, I think I think I want more. I'm greedy. So that's why I'm still, doing my thing. I'm really blessed to be doing what I'm doing. Um, I love what I do. I love music. I love different genres, and when I left So Def, I started learning so many different genres of music, and that kind of led to me film scoring, and so like I can do almost any genre of music now.
That's good. And I know you work with Mariah Carey as well.
Mm-hmm. Mariah, I sometimes I don't even know why she even need a producer, especially vocally.
Yeah.
I love working with her. I did like 3 joints with her, and but the most memorable was Always Be My Baby remix. I'm actually in that video as well. Like I started the whole video off, but you can't see me. They got me blacked out. So when you see this dude moving his head like that, that's me. I got a black Social Death shirt on, and we shot that at her and Tommy Mottola's house, and it was a lot of fun. Tommy was fun. She was fun. The dog was fun, and Brat and Xscape, they did their thing. It kind of reminded me of Brat's video, "Give It to You," because it was a small party. The Brat's video was a big party.
Yeah, that's real cool.
Yeah,
Got to work with some heavyweights in the industry. Yeah.
yeah. It trained me. It definitely trained me to be a better producer. That's for sure. I like, especially working with somebody like Mariah and Jay-Z.
But I like how you know, grind it to make your dreams come true.
Thank you.
You're gonna be
Thank
able to one day. You stuck to it.
you. Yes, I did, and to be honest, I got a lot of people to thank for it because, you know, especially after leaving So Def, I had some kind of hard times for a while, and I had like so many people who had my back, and my boy Kevin, from the KCM group, like he's definitely one. My boy Canute, who was in the camp, and he was one another, and I mean, wow, I got some amazing friends, and I got to give a shout out to my boy Ronnie Ricks, who, when I was a kid in Franklin, Virginia, he took me on his wing and showed me all these different genres of music, from jazz to funk, to dance music, and he was a hellified bass player, and so I couldn't afford any instruments, and he used to take me to the music store and let me, play around with the keyboards. And then finally he bought one, and then we formed a little community band, and we would just practice. So he really is a big reason why I'm doing what I'm doing.
That's good.
Yeah.
So what current projects are you working on?
All new artists. I got this guy named Eli, Nay the Goddess. I'm about to work with Shar. So Nay's a female rapper. Eli is an R&B with a slight touch of pop. Shar is more pop with a slight touch of R&B. And so we pulling things together. I'm almost finished with Eli, and in the middle of it with Nay, and haven't started Shar yet, but I expect to get started soon. They're all phenomenal people, and they're all very talented and eager, and that's what I like to hear. And they trust me. That's another big thing with me. Like, trust me, because it's so much. Let's just be honest. A lot of dumbed down stuff going on in the music game right now, and everybody think they know what they're doing, and some of them do. I'm not taking that away, but but to have a good relationship with the artist, from producer to artist, where they trust you and they believe in you too, it goes a long way, you know, especially, somebody like me who has put in the work and learned a lot. And yeah, so
What advice would you give up and coming producers?
if you want to be successful, stop being just a beat maker. Be a producer. Don't just let it be about the beats. learn about vocals, learn about the technology behind vocals, the technology. You know, they beat makers know a lot about you know, mixing their music, but they should know a lot about, you know, helping people with vocals, because you know, I hear a lot of stuff that hurt my ears sometimes, and usually it's from a beat maker. And the times have changed where the engineers has become a lot more of the producer than the beat maker. You know, so they get with the artist and they telling the artist what to do. I had to get used to that. And then one time I had to tell somebody back off of that. Yo, I got this. You know, so I think beat makers should you know, look more towards expanding their knowledge when it comes to other genres of music, because like me, I like to mix different things in music. Sometimes you can hear it, sometimes you can't. But you know, I like to mix techno and jazz and R&B and you know, all those different things. But I have to be careful not to have more. It depends on what genre you're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I advise like producers to do that, and also you know, in some cases have something to fall back on. I never had anything to fall back on. So when KCM stopped, I was in a very bad place in my head, you know, working a 9 to 5. You know, I'm like, yo, I'm supposed to be out here. I'm supposed to be doing what they doing, you know, like what Jermaine doing, what Timbaland doing, you know. When you know that you that good and you stuck doing something else, that is the most miserable feeling. But after I left Social Dev, I wish I would have had something else that I enjoyed to fall back on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you got to fight to spend so much time trying to get back, you know, to where you're supposed to be. And when I say where you're supposed to be, I'm not talking about success. I'm just saying in a comfortable place where you feel cool,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, so that's my advice to up and coming producers. You know, expand your knowledge. You know, and ask questions. You know, like um, when I was nominated for the Grammy, I ran into Jimmy Jam, and he gave me some great advice. Maybe some I shouldn't share, but one thing he said, I asked him, I like, yo, like Jermaine had like a anthology of y'all stuff. It looked like a Bible, you know, all the hits that y'all done. Like, how do y'all last so long? You know what I'm saying? And he said always be true to your sound. Be true to your sound. However, music changes, the times change, and you still gotta adapt. That don't mean you sacrifice your sound. You just evolve it.
Yeah.
And so that was some real good advice, and that stuck with me. Thanks, Jimmy. He probably ain't on yet, but I'm gonna say thanks anyway.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Well, it was a pleasure having you on my live.
Pleasure for me too. And I finally get to meet you in person. Like we've been friends on Instagram now for years and liking each other's posts and stuff. So yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I'm looking forward to, you know, the new releases that you're doing and everything. Yeah.
Awesome.
Looking forward.
Appreciate it. I'll keep you posted.
Okay, cool. You have a good night.
You too. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone.